Okay. So, hey everyone, this is GeoWill, live member Productions², and back this morning to do, I don't know, hopefully I'm planning to make this a short streaming session, because I'm going to do some streaming later on, maybe in this, sometime about midday, a little bit after 1 or 2 or something, for Star Ocean 3 and whatnot. But just wanted to interrupt my non-streaming to kind of show you a little bit of progress I made on this. If you remember before, I was saying that next project for me for this RPG Maker game would be to try and get the level changer, the class changer plugin going. So I've been working on that the past 48 hours, and just want to show you what I've got so far. We'll just jump into here, and I'll show it to you what we have so far. Show you what I have so far, and then we'll talk more about it. Alright. So here's what's going to look like the main window. There's going to be a window that'll open up before this, so you can select the actor you want to change the class for. But for now, for the proof of concept, I guess you call it, that's just using the first character from the party. So over here we have our list of classes that I'm getting from the data classes array, I guess. And we have the character's information here. And over here is supposed to be a list of the classes that the character has been and the levels of those classes, but for some reason I can't get the object to populate without actually leveling up the character once. Don't know why. It's probably, I don't know, maybe because there's some other weird things like I don't think the levels all get recognized, maybe. Well, we'll see later with this. But anyway, so you have this list here. Select anything from here. I will select only one of these because after Sword Dancer, everything isn't fixed in the database yet, so it doesn't work. Because I'm slightly changing how the note tags work now for the classes. So I'll just select Knight. And here we have our requirements. So Knight requirements, Novice level 20 and Warrior level 15. So the reason we have this nifty window over here to show you the show you the classes over here that they are and the levels, just so you can match up to this. But also on this, what I'm going to do is, if the character has a matching requirement, the text will be turned green. If they don't, it'll be red. So there'll be also a quicker way to see it down here. And then this will show as being able to change the class. Though I haven't tested the code for this yet to enable it, and the actual code to change the class I haven't tested yet either. So I have to make some changes to the class changing, the function that changes the class that's built into MV, because it doesn't remove the skills that you learn from that class. So I have to go in there and muck around with it and figure out how to do that. But so let's say we don't want that. Let's go ahead and hit cancel. Let's say we want to go Sword Singer. So now we have our Sword Singer requirements and it lists them all. Currently, they're not in the proper order because they aren't in order in the database. And this one kind of is, but I'll show what I mean. If we go to Sword Dancer, Mage is at the end. This is because Mage is class 14 in the database right now instead of where it should be. So right now I have them ordered by the actual trees. They need to be ordered by the tiers of classes. So it should go Novice, Warrior, Fighter, Mage, Thief, then Lancer, then Cleric, and then Gunner. Those should be the first classes that you see up here, and then that will put everything. And then probably getting that down the tree structure, that should get things properly ordered here and properly ordered on the requirements list. So let's talk about how. Well, actually, first I want to show you this over here. So let me go talk to myself here. So So basically, I'm setting myself to level 12 as novice, and then I'm resetting the class to warrior, and then giving myself another 9 levels or something. So here you can see now we have our nice thing over here. So now this character has been a novice and got to level 12, and has been a warrior and got to level 9. Now there's also a thing where we need to check if we've already been a class before and what the levels are. And then we have to go through and so this is kind of the interesting thing. We either have to go through and manually give the skills back, or I need to go through and just do like a level up command and have the levels actually increase and get the skills. Problem is though is the upgrade system. You need to find out a way to. So I think what will happen is if you go a certain number of levels, reset your level. Well, let's see actually, because we can test that now. Let me close this. I'm gonna set a. Let's just make this a. Oh, crap. Let's make this a different event page, and on this one, we're going to set. Level. Change level to entire party, increase it by, let's say, 8. Just to start with. And then we're going to do a self-switch. So, self-switch. Turn A on, and then if self-switch is on, change the party, change the Feltos class to warrior, and then re-level the party. And I want to see what happens to the upgrade points. So I haven't actually checked that out yet. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk to him once. So we got our levels. Let's go ahead and get an upgrade character. Just gotta put all on HP for right now. I was giving myself lots of stuff. Yeah, see, we already have we saw the stat upgrades, but you might think that this is this might actually be beneficial. So you're actually upgrading your character's stats, not the class's stats, even though the stats are tied to the class. So, logically speaking, what you can do with this then is say, okay, you get to keep your stat upgrades from class to class, and it'll give you a little bit of a boost when you're starting over in a new class, because they're going to start on level 1 and have to work your way out. And you get regain the points, and you can increase your stats that way. And that kind of deals with the cost too. And kind of saying that the cost is a little bit too high. So now we have all these points, but now the cost is level 4. Obviously, it wouldn't be that way all the way through, because you have a few levels and you'd use them in a few levels. But I mean, this might be interesting to use it this way. We'll maybe have to retool the difficulty of the bosses a bit, but we'll see. So, now. What I want to show you is I actually figured out what was wrong with those frigging tile sets. Not these. For these, what I'm just going to have to do is, these back ones, I'm going to have to turn them into an event or something so that they will show properly. That's really the only way to do it, unless I pull these off of the C tile sheet and throw them onto D, which I can do. It's just annoying to do that and just mess around with the RTP tile sets, and it's just, yeah, I'd rather not do that. Oh wow, there's a skeleton here. Maybe I'll rip that out of here and stick it onto the cave one so I can use it in the cave for Crodwell's body. But yeah, so I just have to would remove these. So basically I would just, let's see, B, get rid of these. Alright, get rid of this stuff. And then we need to, and this one too, I think. And then we would need to redo the roofs, obviously. Pretty simple. And then go to events. So what we can do with the events is we can actually select tile sheet stuff. Oh no, it lets me do 1, not 2. That's cheap. Maybe it'll still select both. Oh. So we would have to do 2 events to display this correctly. This is a hell of a workaround, I gotta say. 2 events, they should be same as character, and we'll say event touch because nothing will ever happen to him that way. Oops, no. Apply. Question is, will they actually show correctly? I have no clue. Player touch, event touch. Let's see what happens. No, it's still behind it. What the hell? The events are supposed to be on top. Wow. The auto... Yeah, auto tiling is just... And the auto layering is just completely broken. Alright, we can go behind these though. This might be the other part of the other bug. Let me... Let's go to tile sets outside C. Apply. So there's also a bug where if the tiles that you had somehow were you could pass behind them, push it for a pass behind setting. It would cause problems with the auto layering system. Don't know why they haven't fixed it yet. It would seem to be, there we go. It works, nice. I mean, we can't walk behind this stuff, but I mean, actually it looks like it's supposed to. So that'll just have to be, you know, no walking behind the roof because there's big scary monsters there and you don't want to go that way, I guess. Cool. So problem solved with 2 events to display both halves of the statue instead of just putting the statue down as a regular part of the map. Like we're supposed to, but whatever. So what I want to do now while we're actually streaming is I want to try and finish off this thing and let's see if it actually will, if we can make it work. So, off to the obscenely crazy code that I have right now. So first things first, we need to change the text color based on if we match the conditions. So, let's see, where is this code at? So that's the, okay, that's the window. This is what we want. I went by it. Here. Alright, so so we have this. What I need to do is I need to bring this down. So the question is, do we have access to actor in class information? I don't have an actor class there. So what if we take let's take this definition away from here. Just make this a regular assignment. And put this up here. Equals undefined. Undefines. That'll work. So now what'll happen is that we'll have this variable called actor classes as part of the CC actor classes window that we can then call through a function we'll create and then pass it to another function, and it's part of class information that will store that into a variable we're going to create there. So this dot underscore, we'll say act classes, just so we're not calling it the same thing. Alright, so then we'll create a window, class information dot prototype dot set act classes. Pass through actor classes. So then this dot underscore act classes. Alright. And then we can just take this code. We won't use it. We won't use this exactly. I just want to bring it down here for reference. Then I want to drop it inside of there, so it'll be really messy and insane. Let's put it down here for now. We need to then go up here and do that same process with this. This needs to be a this instead of a there there. Okay. And then we need to have a get window class or cc actor classes dot prototype dot get actor and then we need to pass it from this window to the other window, which we can do in the scene. So we'd want to do it when all the windows will be created at the same time. So we'd want to do it where would we want to do it? Or could we do it? We could do it in the selected window. So this dot underscore rec wind dot set act classes, pass through this dot underscore act cls window dot get actor classes. Okay, and then that will pass that through from that window to the other one. Then what we want to do in this window is we want to take this, throw it in here, and use it to create a bool which will pass through that'll say meets condition or not. So it'll be a true or false basically, so we'll leave it there for a second. That's being called down here to draw a rec item. So we'll call B is so B is met, so B rec is met. We'll say B rec is met. Just so it's a little more descriptive. If not B rec is met, this dot underscore, no, this dot, is it this dot change text color? Let me go see. Or is it contents change text? Yeah, change text color. No, it just says change text color. Okay. So this change. That was right, I guess. Color. So I want to change it to a red color. So if I remember my hex codes correctly, this is red. Else. This dot change text color. I'm just gonna say some random color because I'm not sure which one is green. BO2. So what this will do now is it'll change the text color whether depending on whether this is true or not. Now what we need to do is okay, so we have this here. So if this equals okay, so this is going to be an int, which is good. So we don't need to do any parsing to ints up here. So CLS ID required. It says it can get the level of the required level of the class that we're currently looking at. If it equals, then actor. So if this is the required class, then we want to use this to get the level from this to underscore actor classes, act classes. So if it matches, then true. If it doesn't match, then false. Crap. So obviously, we're going to have problems with this based on the other issue where it's not populating at the start. But first, let's go ahead and just test this functionality and see if it actually works like it's supposed to. Guarantee there'll be a few problems. Can't read properly. Yeah, I knew there was going to be some problems. 8. So where have I broken things? CC command window 2036. 1236. Really? Windows CCC command. So 1454. Maybe I deleted something by accident or messed up put a typo somewhere. 1454. 1454. Window command. Window underscore CC command. That's right. So, let's see. What are we bringing over in the? So X, Y, W, and H. Okay, that's fine. Window, C, double C command, initialize constructor, window, double C command. Apply of undefined. These are always annoying issues to deal with. When you change some things and maybe you add a stray character somewhere and you have to go chase it down. So that's fine. Well, that's interesting. So that's all correct. There's got to be something in the scene. Well, the scene's correct. So when X, when Y, when W, when H. 1377. Correct command window. Which goes to 1454. Which is the constructor call. Or no. Yeah. Constructor call. So com wind equals new window CC command. Passing these through. Oh, wait. There's another error. Actor classes is not defined on line 1782. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, let's just leave that code hanging down there. Not going to screw anything up. Okay. Back over to myself. And back over to myself again. And yes, actor classes is not defined. There we go. The correct error I was expecting to find. So it's on 1707. Or 1705. 1705. Actor classes. So what is that? Actor classes is not defined. Oh, I forgot to put to this. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Pulling an all-nighter, so the derps get strong at this point in the night, morning, whatever. Okay, so same place. Actor classes still not defined. Because we made it undefined, so of course it would be undefined. Let's go ahead and do an object notation and try this crap once again. Get out of here. Well, no, because I might need to restart if I have to close it out. Oh my god, still not defined. This underscore actor classes equals this dot underscore actor dot get actor classes. And reference error actor classes is not defined. Oh wait, 1707, never mind. We're on a different, oh, Jesus. I didn't even notice we're on a different line now. It's like, okay, let's try and fix this line we already fixed. Never code. During an all-nighter is my saying, and breaking continuously, but this is why I say it. Alright, there we go. And okay, so we now have our stuff over here. Everything seems to be working again. So now, let's go and choose night. Cannot read property 3 of undefined. 1764. Which is cannot read property 3 of undefined. So it's saying that, is it saying that act classes is undefined? It must be, because this isn't undefined. Ah, hell. Once again, I have no clue why it is, but whenever we get into these object things, for whatever reason, I can never get the this things to go through. Say A classes. I don't know what I mean. Once it's in there, I think this then refers back to the original object they're looping through or something. I've seen some random dude that did this properly or something like that over here by passing like this through on as a parameter, but I've never gotten it to work. I've never used the this for each loop in JavaScript, so there's probably some quirks to it that could be solved somehow. But let's see if this works now. And actually, let's pull this over here. Hopefully I can. Sometimes, I don't know why, but the Chrome dev tools will just totally crap out and I'll have to restart the game in order to actually close it down and restart it to get this to allow me to put breakpoints again. So, here, let's see. Alright, so I'm going to do a watch expression on a class. Damn it, it's undefined. Okay. Why are you undefined? Well, that could be undefined because that's there. Continue. Yeah, pretty much figured out. Crap. Hit the wrong button. Well, I hit the right button, but not the one that I wanted to hit. So I'm going to reset those parts. So it might not be being updated during the selection thing. And this is literally how I got the program with JavaScript. And by extension this, because there's no way to test it. You can't just compile something and there's no compiler. So you can't look at it and say, oh, okay, so this isn't going to work or something. Granted, these are like runtime errors anyway, but at the same time, for more non-runtime errors, it would be nice to take a file. So I want to throw this down here. I want to throw one here. So I want to see if we're actually passing it or not. Yeah, so it's not even getting called. So where do we put that at? Here it is. So on class list when selected, which is on OK from class list, so that should be called this recommend set act classes, this act class when actor class when says it's undefined, which is not, just because we're not in that context. Dot get actor classes. Alright, it's gonna error out. Which is that problem. It's probably a simple reason why it's not working. I'm just not seeing it because it's bloody 7:30. Yeah, so it's like not even. So set selected class. I wonder. I've had a whole bunch of these like epiphanies to work on this night where it's like, oh, maybe I just need to put this above this because it has to be called first. Yeah, so you can see now I can't put any breakpoints. It might just be because it's, yeah, it's bugged. I can put them now. Couldn't try earlier though. Oh. And I keep on trying to change code over here until I realize, oh, it doesn't save back over. It would be cool if it did. Very cool. Space, save it, and then I'll put the thing up here. Alright. Well, it's not going to work because it'll be null. Alright, so we're calling to this. It's calling this. I'll put a break there. So I can then just check it. So this. Good. We actually have an object now. Let's see. Class ID is 3. So ACLSS 3. So that says undefined. Because there is no 3. So classroom JSON. We've got ourselves a index issue. So, let's solve this. So the easiest way would be to see. What did I do down here? Down here I use regular for loops. So you might just have to do that. So we loop through required classes, and for every required class, we check the character's class array, object array, and then we compare the levels to, well, first we check to see if the class is the class we're looking for, then we compare the class levels and then see if it's true or not. So we may just have to do something similar here, which is good because then we can get rid of all these stupid temporary objects, temporary variables we have to create to deal with the stupid this issue. To go down, not up. So if you're gonna rewrite this, so we're still looping through this. So this would still happen. We'd still loop through this. Still need to check if this is true. Then we need to build a Rex out of the key. So if it is the class we're looking for, then var Rex equals class JSON. In this case, CLS ID. Then we need to get. We could probably do this without doing that whole thing. Maybe. Or do we have to? No, I think we do have to do that. But yeah, we still have to keep. No, we still have to keep these because we're inside of an object. So, we'll still learn on that. So we need to create a required classes object array out of the keys from Rex. And then we need to build a rec levels array from the required classes. And then we need to build another one using the character classes. Wow, that's a mess, but so we have to do this, what we have to do. So is it going to happen on refresh? That's only going to refresh though when we change it. So yeah, it shouldn't be too big a hit in performance. Alright, so F enable. So there rec classes equals object.keys. Tested this code here, and looking at to go off of, and I know know this works. So it should just be a matter of getting it over here and then punching in the additional logic to make it do this stuff. Which we can do down here in this for else thing down here. So, I'll have to do some refactoring once we're done with this, because we'll have to do this exact same thing for the confirmation sections down here to show that button. We'll have to show up the 2 day. Alright, so building this. Actually, just leave this as one line. Then we need to build the character. Well, we don't need to build, well, yes, we do need to build a list of keys. In this case, the key is going to be an integer. So act class keys. I guess we'll call it. This should be a var equals objects keys. Less than rec classes. Length. That one is plus. For var I2 0 2 is less than char classes. So act class keys. Equals rec classes I1. Let me check the level. Yep. Classes I1 is greater than or equal to rec levels rec classes I1 else something else. So then we would put our things in here. This would have to go into matches. So we go here no matter what. Because anytime we reach into here, we're going to be drawing something. It's either going to match the requirement or it's not. So it's either going to be true or false. they're gonna be red or green, and so we have to increase. We have to increment the distance of the text we're drawing, and then once we reach the end of the window or the end point of the text reaching, so it's out of the switch it set X to 0, and then set Y plus 45 to move down the next line. So that should do the exact same stuff as this. Unless something really goes wrong, which is entirely possible. Alright, let's refresh. Alright, paused. Oh, hey, here we go. Actually, worked. That's okay. So the code will actually automatically update. So it seems to be working. Now what I want to do is well, first let's close. So I'm gonna change how we're doing the leveling here. So let's edit this and change this to 30, and then we'll change this to 30 as well. Well, let's make this one 60. So either we're having an issue or there's some unexpected token. Okay. So it worked for a little while and then it stopped working. It's probably working because it was running off the old code from before, rather than the new code. So 17, at least the old code worked, so we know this is probably going to work. 1794, we have a unexpected one of these. So that closes off that. This closes off that if. That one. This closes off what? Oh, this one, okay. That closes off the objects. Oh, okay. So just need to do that, that's why. Yeah, okay. We just missed the closing of the function. Or actually, no, we didn't. This one. That one was right. This one was right. Okay. Now it should pile without any issues. There we go. Okay. Let's see if this stuff works. Sales ID not defined. What? 1763. Where's that at? Here. Oh. Well, yeah, of course not. It's the little things that always get me like that. Luckily, they're easy to figure out once I actually look at the code and see, oh yeah, I forgot to change that one variable and it caused everything to explode into fiery death. Oh god, here we go again. 60, 70, same thing actually. Oh, over here. So, in this case, yeah. We don't need that because we're going through the entire thing on its own, so we don't need to select any particular thing out of there. So, now what we could do though is we could flip this around and say, pull out the selected class from this specifically, but then it wouldn't be a for each. We'd have to redo how we're doing this because at that point we'd be going through what this does instead of just pulling the entire information out of that. So I think we'll leave it like this, even though it's a little bit less efficient. It really shouldn't matter. We can put a break in somewhere to kill the loop. This isn't even kill the loop. Alright, so back over to me, and back over to me. Okay, new thing that's not... Okay, so this is part of that this issue. For... So let's see, maybe it will actually work. And I closed it. Oh, that's fine. Alright, new game. Alright, class require ID not defined. All this stuff we gotta change, I guess. Right, because this is now going to be... So... Data classes.name. So we want selected class. No. We want I1. And then for this, we want I1. And then we want, so I1's going to be the so let's see, require classes. It's based off of Rex. So actually this we could say acquired levels. Let's just replace this entirely. Name is null. So rec classes. We were so bastardizing this code, but let's see what happens. The first order of business is to make it work. The second order of business is to make it work better. That's how most programming works. At least that's how it works for me. Okay, there we go. So but we still have an issue where it's not matching these conditions correctly, obviously, because we do have what we need. Novice is 31 and Warrior is 61. So, having an issue with these two conditions here. But the information we're getting into the things here is correct, so those work. Now I just need to figure out the condition here. Apparently it's not working. So, means it's time for some debugging. JS plugins, line 778. Well, 1778. Alright. So, there's our condition. Well, that's interesting. So selected class is okay. Alright, there we go. So instead of watch expression, you're actually just going to do this. It's 31. And watch this be like a string or something. Stupid like that. I could just imagine that happening. Because it happened once before, so that's how I know it might happen now. And, yep, that's what it is. Trying to compare a string to a int will never work. So parse int. Alright. Now we should get something. Breaks out. Damn. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and check this stuff out again. It's still listing as int, or well, obviously it's a string. Parses it to 20. So true. So it is going to the right one. Okay, so it's just the color we chose is a darker shade of red. Who would have guessed? Okay. Let's try. Let's see. Actually, go to Photoshop. I think that's so we want like some sort of green color. You are breaks out. Take those breaks out. Well, we have blue, but it's not red, which is good. 00 CC00. Let's try the full hex code this time and see if it actually works or not. Okay. Yep, there we go. So now, let's do the ultimate test here. I want to test if they're working properly. So, novice 30, we'll modify this to be 10. So it should show up as green and then red for the second one. Perfect. Yes, it works. Alright. So our novice is level 20, or it's over level 20, so it meets that requirement, it's level 31. And our warrior level is 11, so it doesn't meet the 15, so it's below. So now what I want to do is this, and then control cell switch B, and copy paste switch B, and then we'll just add another 10 to warrior, our warrior class. Or wait, get rid of the change to warrior because we don't need to do that now. Alright, on that one. So again, let's just thoroughly check it, make sure it's working under all conditions. At least the ones that we know it should work under, and not the ones that we know it won't work under. So novice 31. So if I go check this now. Interesting. So if it's not there, that's another thing we do. Okay, so novice, yeah, so if the requirement's not there, then we need to display that as, anyway, so yeah, we need to do that other condition there. Okay, so now we have our warrior level. Okay. Now our warrior 21 should be green. Perfect. Alright, so we do have that one thing to figure out. So that is, if a condition does not meet, okay, so if let's say that we have a bunch of different classes. Fighter, let's say a novice, warrior, mage, cleric, priest, and some other ones. Anytime this is not equal to this, even if it's in the list eventually. So we need to say then as okay, so we need to add a break here. what we need to do here is say, so this will be an else if now. What we need to do here is go if I2 is because we're doing it from starting from 0. So if we're at the last one on the thing and it hasn't matched yet, we need to do one of these. Hopefully this works the way that I think. Chances are it's not going to, but we'll see. So what I'm hoping is that when we go over there to, so we're gonna go over here, do it once, so we have novice level, whatever. Since we don't have our warrior class yet, what I'm hoping is that we'll see the warrior show up in the list. Of course, there's a typo. I am the king of typos. Alright. Try this again. Take 2. Actually, more like take 20,000 by now. Ah, crap. Clicked on myself twice. Alright, there we go. Cool, it is showing, but we have to, it's not putting it over. Oh. So, first one is meeting. So I guess we need to put this here too. Doesn't make too much sense. But it's not being shoved over. There we go, yeah. That's what we had to do. Okay, good. So we don't have a warrior class at all, but it's showing from the requirements list now. Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted to do. So if I could go to Lord Sword Singer, same thing. Oh wow, Sword Singer is now in red. Got to do the reset font text. Draw Rex. Well, we just do that up here and we call that this dot reset fonts or text color, I think. So once we verify I fixed that one bug, we'll talk about how this is actually set up in the database. Good. Okay, it's not happening now. Good. Alright, so let's talk about how this is set up in the database. It's pretty simple and pretty, I think, probably pretty powerful. Though, I mean, there's a limit on the number of classes using what I'm using there. I'd have to change the way that we're displaying the items on that that screen, that window on the bottom that has the requirements. I'd have to turn it into a well, it is a window selectable, but I'd have to change the way that the items are being displayed. Instead of using what I'm using now, I'd have to go through a different function, I think, to create them. Instead of going through refresh. Similar to how I'm doing with the class list window. I'd have to do like a max items and all kinds of stuff like this to make them display the way they would need to have that ability to scroll down through the list and have them going up and down the window. So I mean, there's obviously things you can do to correct that, which would be like changing the Y, changing this to a lower setting to make the rows closer together, or dropping this down to make the. But to be honest, if you drop this down, you'd have to drop down the font size again because it depends on the class names, but martial artist, which is the longest class name I have, barely fits with my X being 202. Anyway, so we're talking about the classes here. So it's pretty simple. So, and if you remember before how we had this was using, let's see if I have one that I haven't fixed yet. I guess I don't. Was using these tags here with the class name, colon, and the level. What I found out was that in order to access the class information vis-a-vis the class name from the data classes object array thing, whatever you want to call it, you actually have to use an ID. So it has to be an int. So I had to change the first parameter of the requirements note tag to be the class ID in the database here. So, and that's just all it takes to set this up. You just put this in and the code does the rest. So it's very easy to set up. For example, I'll just do this one. Requirements. So 110. Now if I go into the game and I choose fighter, it's not going to crash me into oblivion. It'll actually display the required levels, aka novice level 10. So now if I go back and choose brawler, we get a huge crash because name is not defined because we're trying to pull the name of the class using the actual class name instead of the ID, which doesn't work. So I have to go through and do that for all the classes. Which is annoying, but... so let's move on to the next thing, which is to get the code to... So actually, all we have to really do, I guess, is we just have to pull this code, literally all this code. And put it down here, which we've already kind of done, sort of. Did I create a file? I haven't. I'll have to recreate all that stuff down here so we can do that. But what did I do the whole thing? Well, yeah. Well, I did everything up to the point where we need to. And I think that this clear is causing problems with the refresh, so we'll comment that out. So we can just get rid of all, everything below the bool there. Up to this point. Alright. So now we can strip out some of this stuff. We don't need any of this. We don't need this. Don't need that. Don't need that. Everything else we do need. We don't need this or this. Now we need to create these. I think selected class is already part of this, but we need to do the selected the act classes. Window cc command set act classes equals function passing through actor classes. this dot underscore act classes equals actor classes. And selected class is already being set. Now, what else do we need to do? We need to set this as undefined. So that, and then we need to do the call to it from up here in the scene. So where do we do the other call? In the right, this one. So basically we're just going to take this and exchange it out with com. We'll leave that part like it is. That'll fill that out as well. Now, the question is, how do we duplicate things here? So obviously this is pretty simple. True and then false. And in this case, we don't want to break. Now, if we find it, we want to break. But we also want to loop through everything to make sure that if there is a condition that we're not meeting, we're not allowing us to change. So, yeah, we need this up here as well. Okay, rid of that. Save it and see what happens. See how many problems we find this time. Alright, so I'm just going to do the novice first. Just warrior. So, novice level 10, that's not right. So novice is up here. Why are we not matching? Maybe there's a... No errors or anything. Alright, back into the code. So it was working, and then we changed nothing, and now it's not working. That's pretty par for the course, really. Didn't change anything really to it anyway. So 17. Please don't be text. Oh, that's text, actually. Well, they're both text. Interesting. So they should match. But they don't. So what did I do to this code? Somehow I managed to really frack it up. Not even changing any of that code, and I managed to screw it up. So this is too long, like this too. Go through the first time. Go through the second time. So let's do this the really weird way. It's probably some sort of string comparison we can do. But and then I'm going to take this, copy it from here, and paste it over to where I need to actually put it, so that it works. So they're both zeros. 9, 1, 2. Iterators are 0. Our first key and actor keys, well, actor class keys, is 0. What's the length of? So have two. A 0 and a 1. So the 1's a novice. And the 0 is some random weird crap that always happens because there's a blank object in every actor, every class, anything that's in the database that's enumerated, there's always a 0 that's empty. I don't know why they do that for, but we need to handle that. Developers we decided to do. So in the case of warrior or any other first tier class, novice is the only one. So it's only going to go for the first element before falling into the non-existing traps in there. What to do when the first one is 0? So this is in so what if we do this? And then this just becomes a object, or rather for each. No, yeah. Object.keys. I think. So I think this is a hacky way to keep the 0 out of there. We'll find out. Of course, undefined is not a function. What line? 1775. Object cats. Good God. I don't know, I'm like obsessed. I got cats on the brain because, I don't know, maybe my brain wants to play Mass Effect Andromeda or something. Just gonna kill some cats. Alright, try this again. there's the cats again. I'm being attacked by cats all over. Any other cats to deal with? No? Good. Well, now we have no requirements. That's interesting. So, CLS is 1. Element 1 of a CLS S is 1, which means that at CLS keys, CLS should also be 1. So it falls all the way through it. So for var active keys to So, freshness. So knight should be novice, and then okay, no, this is the player classes. Yeah, that's fine. And then that one has 1 and 2. 120, 215. Now however, it has an element to it, so why are we undefined? which is why it's falling through apparently. So, let's see, okay. So, Rex, we have 2. Classes, we have 2. 2. So for I2, 0, I2 is less than length of axial keys, which is 1, I2 plus plus. So in this case, when there's only one element, this will always fire because taking 1 off of 1, which is 0, which means that I2 is equal to the length minus 1. So if we do this, over here. Which wouldn't be the case on this one, so we'll pass through that. And then we'd say, okay. Else if percent, if they equal each other. Only one, chances are it's going to match. Because the only one that have one required class all require a novice, which is the default class. So that might take care of itself. I'll probably come back sometime tomorrow and look at this. Tomorrow being Sunday, look at this and say, oh my god, no, I missed this. This whole line of code is wrong. Alright, so let's take a look. Okay. Oh, no requirements. Why did I even do domestic code up? Oh my god. Alright, let me just undo all these changes I made. So, all the changes to command window. These changes. That code changes. Okay, so this was the last time that it worked. Let's see if it actually works still or not. If it doesn't work, that'd be very interesting. Okay. So, we're at least getting this back down here. And then we had to do a parse int on these, right? Of course, now I've overridden any of the changes that were in the history, but whatever. And looks like we're back to frickin' square one again. It's not working again. Oh, we'll leave this for another time. Anyway, I wanted to show you the, before we get super sidetracked. Where are we gonna go? I guess we'll show this one. It's got the most stuff in it that was missing. Delete myself here. Actually, I'm gonna move myself off in case. Oh no, yeah. You can go delete me. Nothing really important. And that player. So I finally figured out, with a little bit of help from some guy over at the MV web forums, what was going on, and it was that my tile sheet that I had set up wasn't the correct size. So tile sheets have to be for B through E have to be 768 by 768. If they're larger than that or smaller than that, then they totally crap out when they get loaded into the game, apparently, but not in the editor for some reason. So this is what the map actually looks like with stuff on it, and you can see half of the stuff is here. I still need to fix that one. It's on the B tab, and I haven't fixed that one yet. But stuff is showing up now, so it's good. Yeah, so that's going to be it for this streaming thing. So I had to kind of show you the progress I made on the script and also on the fixing of this stuff. Hopefully I can get that script all sorted. Next time that I do any live streaming for this, I'll have that script fully done and functional. So that'll be an interesting thing to try and figure out how to fix all that stuff. Went from having it working to having it not working. It's very actually it's very usual for software development. But probably in another maybe hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, I'll probably start streaming on the PS4 Star Ocean 3, and then or maybe later than that, maybe around 1 o'clock. And then I'll after that I'll stream either Horizon Zero Dawn or Neo, or one of those two, and Final Fantasy HD Type 0 HD, whatever it's called. I think it's Final Fantasy Type 0 HD. So I will see you then.